I'm Coach Mike with ADVMotoSkillZ. Today we're going to be reviewing some techniques for driving through short patches of sand. No matter where you ride, eventually you're going to come across some sand across the road that you're going to need to get through. I'm going to be sharing with you some tips that I find that make navigating these short sections a little bit more manageable. First of all, for a short section like this, you don't really need to air down the tires, but what really matters the most is having your traction control shut off. We want that wheel to spin as freely as possible to get as much traction to push us through that sand. Whenever I'm about to cross a short section of sand like this, I prefer to stand. I have much more ability to counterweight and react to the bike as it's shifting through the sand. Line selection is really important, especially on sand like this that has already been driven over by many vehicles. Wherever there's car tire tracks like this, you know that sand has been ridden over, the sand has come up, it's been aerated, it's landed back down, it's going to be very soft. Always look for the sand that hasn't been ridden on. This sand is going to be much more firm and the bike is going to track much more easily through it. So you want to aim for the tracks that haven't been ridden yet. Two important things to do when crossing sand is getting your body positioning right and proper use of throttle control. So as I'm just about to have that front tire enter the sand, I want to load all my body weight onto the foot pegs to compress that suspension. And then once the suspension has bottomed out, I want to roll on that gas real quick, abruptly, so that the timing is just right, so that as the suspension comes up, that front tire is going to lift a little bit and that rear tire can help push me through the sand. So let's see what that looks like. We want to approach slowly so that we have that burst of momentum to be able to carry us through. As I approach, I compress it down, hips come back, roll on. Approaching at a controlled speed in second gear, compress down, blip. Second gear pushes you right through with enough RPMs. When approaching the sand, we want to slow down before we get there so that as we roll on that throttle, we're at a controlled speed as we go through it. As we're approaching the end of the section of sand, we're going from a loose traction environment to a higher traction environment. We don't want to have that excessive wheel spin all of a sudden hook up and then end up in a high side. So 1 or 1.5 bike lengths away, we need to smoothly roll off that throttle, get our hips back, and be prepared for the wobbles that happens when we go from that loose surface to the firm surface. So I approach, I flip on that throttle, and I slow down. You don't need to ride fast through sand. You need to ride through sand smooth as possible. For me, the key is really holding that bike from the ankles to the knees. That way I can be loose on the handlebars as that front tire is searching for traction. A little burst of throttle can help push that bike and make the bike more stable. Some patches of sand are bigger than others. It's the same technique. Approach at a comfortable pace, stomp down, roll on that throttle, gas, 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 slow down as you exit. Slow down. The thing I enjoy about adventure riding is coming across a challenge and figuring out a way to get through it. Always working on your skills to build up to that next challenge. So always ride within your comfort level and keep practicing.